Okay, I'm here with PFL 2022 light heavyweight finalist, Rob Wilkinson. Hello, Rob. Welcome back. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine as well. Thanks for asking. Man, you scored your place in the finals thanks to a nasty knockout against Delan Monte on August the 13th. Was that the way you were imagining to land your spot in the finals?
I definitely was picturing getting a knockout or a finish at least. I thought it'd be a bit of a fireworks fight. You know, he comes out really heavy and aggressive, so I thought it'd be kind of like it was. So yeah, I pictured myself knocking him out. I know I've got a lot of power, so it was a good result.
Of course, I'm guessing you're pretty happy and satisfied with your performance and your overall performance throughout this year. Man, I believe you haven't fought for 15 consecutive minutes, in total. The total amount of time you spent in the PFL cage, I don't think it's 15 minutes.
No, it's hasn't been long. Yeah, I got a couple of two first round finishes and one quick second round finish that at the start of the second round. So it's been a good run so far, but got one more fight to focus on.
When we spoke last time, you predicted that you would face Antonio Carlos Jr. in the finals. We know that he had to pull out of his clash with Akhmedov due to injury. Now you're going to face Akhmedov after he won his fight against Joshua Silveira. Are you disappointed that you aren't able to face Carlos Jr.?
A little bit, I just wanted to fight him because he was the champ. He won it last year. So I think it would mean a lot to beat the champ to kind of become the champ, as they say. Omari Akhmedov is a really good fighter. He's very experienced. He's very well known. So I'm happy get to fight someone, with his kind of standard as well. So, it is what it is. I'm not too disappointed about it. Hopefully I'll get to fight him in next season. But yeah, I've got Omari to focus on now. So that's fine.
And I guess you hear that $1 million prize is pretty tempting, regardless of your opponent, right?
Yeah, then $1 million, that's huge. And also for me, one of my goals since I started MMA was to be a world champion. So, that's high up on my list as well. Of I'm now training to win a world title. I'm in a camp to win a world title, which is pretty exciting for me.
Right now, are you back in Australia or are you still in the United States?
I'm still in the United States, so I've stayed here since the first fight. So my first fight, I trained out of it, HCC in Tasmania, and then since that fight, I stayed over in America. I've been in Denver training at Factory X, and finishing the tournament here.
Aren't you missing your family?
I am missing my friends and family and my dog back home, but it's been nice. I've had my girlfriend over here for a large part of it. My brother and my mum came to the last fight in New York, so it was good to be able to see them. But I'll be going home in December to see everyone with a full bank account and a nice shiny belt. So that's going to be worth it.
Fingers crossed, and of course you are putting a lot on the line. You sacrificed a lot to be in this spot, and man, you you drop, in fact you move up a weight division, to compete in the PFL. How do you think has been going so far?
I mean, it's definitely going well, win wise, and also just like much more comfortable for me going into fights and doing the weight cut. Honestly, I don't think I'd be able to do or would have been able to do the PFL style format at middleweight. Like when I was cut into middleweight, if I had to do that every, there was 7 or 8 weeks, that I don't think would have been very good for my body at all. And yeah, I would have looked at probably not doing it at middleweight or that being a reason for it. But now that I fight at light heavyweight, the weight's much I try and get on top of it early, but I don't really have to get on top of much. I just like lose a kilo or two and then and do my weight cut, which is a pretty safe amount of weight I'm cutting in the week of the fight now compared to what I used to do. So it's much more comfortable and I feel a lot better out there competing. I feel faster than these guys at light heavyweight as well. I've worked a lot of my speed and my explosiveness over the last few years as well. But you know, I feel like I'm, you know, bigger or the big guy out there, but I'm also a lot quicker than all these guys. So it feels good.
You fought 3 times in the span of a few months, and you're preparing for your fourth bout. How is your body reacting to that? I mean, the results, of course, are outstanding, amazing, but still, how do you feel? Yeah, in general.
You know, I feel good. A few niggles here and there and little injuries, but nothing major. It's mentally, it's been nice to know that, you know, once you fight, you know that you've got another fight coming up where, you know, sometimes in the past I've had big layoffs. So I've not fought for, you know, I fought once in a year or, you know, not sure when my next fight's coming. So it's nice to know that, you know, I've got another fight coming. I can get straight back into training or have a little bit of time off, a week off, and then get back into it.
And you told me that you're still preparing at Factory X. I'm guessing you'll be training and sparring with Dustin Jacoby. Do you think that, you know, sparring with such, you know, fighter who has a kickboxing background has been you know, has been helpful to improve your skills overall?
Yeah, hugely. You know, he's extremely talented striker and MMA fighter, and he's showing that with his recent run in the UFC. I think he's since re-signing with the UFC. I think he's 5 or 6 and 0. And it gives you a lot of confidence training with guys at that level. You know, sparring those guys, doing a lot of training every day with those guys, and then going into your fight. You know, you know what sort of level you're at. You know that you've put in the hard work and you train with guys that are potentially better than the people you're fighting. So it definitely helps skill wise and also like confidence wise. It helps mentally a lot too.
And you know, it goes the same way around. I spoke with him ahead of his latest UFC fight, and he mentioned your name. You know, since you two trained together this time, and you help to improve each other. Let's put it like this.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's one of the reasons I've come over and stayed in America and stayed at Factory X is, you know, you don't want to be necessarily the best guy at the gym. And not saying I was the best guy back at my old gym, but, you know, I was one of the most experienced and also the biggest guy. So it made it hard to get those really hard rounds and have people push you when you're a lot bigger than everyone and also a lot more experienced and had a lot more fights than everyone. So that's why I chose to come to Factory X to, you know, get that work in with guys that, you know, are a higher level at me and help me improve my game as well as me help them.
Right now, you will be competing on November the 25th. Are you imagining that your fight with Akhmedov will go on the mat at some point?
Most likely, you know, I picture him trying to take me down. You know, he's a decent striker, but I think I'm going to have the range, and I think I'm a lot better striker. And once I start hitting him, he'll be looking to grapple, which is, you know, it's fine by me. I've said it a few times. I think just because I've had, you know, 3 knockouts this season, people forget that, you know, my base was grappling. I used to wrestle jiu-jitsu. That was kind of how I was winning a lot of my fights early on. So yeah, I'm happy wherever the fight goes. I'm happy for him to shoot. You know, maybe I'll take him down. It's going to be a good fight. I'm excited for it.
You have 7 submission victories, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so perhaps, yeah, people tend to forget that since you just scored knockouts. How do you, I mean, okay, you are displaying some great striking skills. How do you feel on the feet in general?
I feel good. It was actually, you know, fighting Israel Adesanya was one of the best things probably happened to me for that confidence and to realize I really need to work on a few things. And, you know, striking was one of them. After getting released from the UFC, you know, I've spent some time training with Israel at City Kickboxing, and then I had a number of kickboxing fights. I've had a professional boxing fight, and I really took that time, especially over COVID and when I wasn't getting too many MMA fights, to work on my striking and kind of rebuild that area of my skill set. So now I feel very well rounded, and I feel comfortable fighting any of these guys wherever it goes. I'm comfortable striking with any of the fighters. I'm happy to, wrestle and take them down. I'm sure I can submit most of them as well. So, I'm very confident now with my whole game.
And except MMA, which combat sport do you like? Or where do you feel more comfortable, except for MMA, of course? I
had my first pro boxing fight, and that's where when I was 16, I started out with boxing before getting into MMA. And I actually had a lot of fun having that boxing fight. At first, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but training and having the fight, I had a lot of fun, and I was actually thinking about potentially having a few more boxing fights before I signed with the PFL.
So if you're going to defeat Akhmedov on November the 25th, are you going to call out Jake Paul for a boxing fight?
Maybe that'll be a good money fight for me.
Okay, just kidding.
I think I'm too young to fight him, though. He only likes fighting old, retired fighters.
Oh, that's nasty. And okay, then let's leave it like this. Yeah, listen, we were speaking about, we're mentioning the victory, the $1 million prize. If you're going to win, may I ask you, what are you going to do with the money?
My plan at the moment is to, take a week or two off before going home, maybe head to Mexico with a few friends who are coming over to watch my fight. And then I'll probably look at investing in a house back home in Tasmania. I also think I need to get my dog some surgery. So, some of it will go towards that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What's going on with your dog?
She's okay. She's just got bad hip dysplasia. So, she's on anti-inflammatories and pain medication, but they said we're taking her to see a specialist, and they can remove the head of her femur to kind of take away that pain. So that's something we're thinking about doing, yeah.
Again, I'm sorry to hear that, and I wish her the best, and I wish you too the best as well. Rob, do you have any last messages?
No, that's all good. Thank you.
Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time today. Best of luck, and hopefully I'll hear again from you after the finals.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.